The 2013 Solheim Cup was the 13th edition of the Solheim Cup matches, held on August 16 to 18 at the Colorado Golf Club in Parker, Colorado, southeast of Denver. The Solheim Cup is a biennial team competition between the top women professional golfers from the United States and from Europe. Similar to the Ryder Cup, it is a three-day match play event between teams of 12 players. Europe won the matches by a score of 18-10. The U.S. team had won 8 of the 12 previous Solheim Cups. Europe was the defending champion, having won in 2011 in Ireland, but had never won in the United States. The matches included a series of firsts for Team Europe. They retained the cup for the first time since the competition began in 1990. This was the largest margin of victory for either team. They won in the United States for the first time ever. Sweden's Anna Nordqvist became the first player in Solheim Cup history, on either team, to make a hole-in-one. Sweden's Caroline Hedwall became the first player in Solheim Cup history, on either team, to win 5 matches in a single competition. Europe maintained a lead after each of the 5 sessions and dominated the last 2 sessions, Saturday afternoon 4-ball and Sunday singles, by 11.5 to 4.5 points to retain the cup and win in the United States for the first time. Format: the Solheim Cup is a match play event, with each match worth 1 point. The format is as follows: Day 1, 4 foursome matches in a morning session and 4 4-ball matches in an afternoon session. A total of 8 players from each team participate. Day 2, 4 foursome matches in a morning session and 4 4-ball matches in an afternoon session. A total of 8 players from each team participate. Day 3, 12 singles matches. All 12 players from each team participate. With a total of 28 points, 14.5 points are required to win the cup, and 14 points are required for the defending champion to retain the cup. All matches are played to a maximum of 18 holes. If the score is even after 18 holes, each team earns 1/2 point. Teams' eligibility criteria: the United States and European teams have different eligibility criteria. Team USA members of the United States team had to be current members of the LPGA Tour and be born in the United States. This was the last Solheim Cup held under these rules, beginning with the 2015 edition. Eligibility was expanded to include the following categories of LPGA Tour members: U.S. citizens by birth, regardless of the birthplace; those who were naturalized as U.S. citizens before age 18; those who became U.S. citizens by adoption before age 13. Team Europe members of the European team must be current members of the Ladies European Tour in any category or membership, have played in 6 ranking events during the qualifying period as a member of the LET, unless selected as a captain's pick, must be a European national, defined by Solheim Cup rules as someone either born in European country and holding a current passport of the European country, or having been naturalized as a citizen of a European country, having held a current passport of that European country for the immediately preceding 4 consecutive years, having resided in that European country for the immediately preceding 4 consecutive years. A European country is a nation situated in the continent of Europe and is recognized as an independent state by the United Nations. Any player who holds dual nationality shall elect on joining the LET in each of 2012 and 2013 whether she wishes to be eligible for selection for the 2013 European Solheim Cup team. Team selection: the United States and European teams were selected by different methods. Team USA. Team USA qualified by earning points for wins and for top 20 finishes on the LPGA Tour over a 2-year period. Points were earned beginning with 2011 LPGA Hannah Bank Championship and concluding with the 2013 Women's British Open. Points were increased in 2013 and doubled in the 4 major championships. The 8 players with the highest points were automatically selected for Team USA. 2 additional players qualified based on the position in the Rolex Women's World Golf Rankings, and 2 were selected as wild cards by the team, captained from among all eligible players. Team Europe. Team Europe consisted of the top 4 players from the Solheim Cup standings, followed by the top 4 LET members on the Women's World Golf Rankings as of the conclusions 2013 Women's British Open, who were not already qualified via the Solheim Cup standings, and 4 captain selections. Qualifying points for Team Europe were awarded weekly to the top 10 finishes at official LET events. Team USA. Meg Mallon was the captain of Team USA. She appointed Dottie Pepper and Laura Diaz as assistant captains. 1 age at the start of the 2013 Solheim Cup matches on August 16, 2013. Rolex rankings as of the date of team selection on August 4, 2013. Team Europe. Liselott Newman was the captain of Team Europe. She appointed Karen Koch and Annika Sorenstam as assistant captains. Sorenstam previously served as one of 2 assistant captains in the 2011 Solheim Cup. 1 age at the start of the 2013 Solheim Cup matches on August 16, 2013. Rolex rankings as of the date of team selection on August 4, 2013. Course opened in 2007. The championship course of the Colorado Golf Club previously hosted the Senior PGA Championship in 2010, won by Tom Lehman. For the back tees, the course length exceeds 7,600 yards. Its average elevation is over 6,100 feet above sea level. The 2013 Solheim Cup was the first time the matches were held west of the Mississippi River. Day 1. Morning foursomes. Anna Nordqvist and Caroline Hedwall went 1-up in the match against Stacey Lewis and Lizette Salas on the 6th hole. They would retain this lead and won the first point for Europe by a 4-2 margin. Match 2 was a much tighter affair in which Suzanne Pettersen and Beatriz Ricari claimed a 2-1 victory over the Texan pairing of Brittany Lang and Angela Stanford. Morgan Pressel and Jessica Corder dominated the match against Katrina Matthew and Jodi Ewart-Shadiff and secured the United States' first point, with a 3-2 victory. Azahara Munoz and Karina Ika were never behind in the match against Kristika and Paula Creamer and won the match by 2-1 margin. Afternoon 4-ball. Caroline Hedwall and Caroline Masson were never behind in the match against Angela Stanford and Garina Piller and won by 2-1. Though behind early on, Brittany Lincicome and Brittany Lang went 1-up on the 9th hole and retained that lead to win the match against Anna Nordqvist and Julia Sergers by 4-3. Kristika and Michelle Wee dominated the match against Katrina Matthew and Charlie Hull and won by a 2-1 margin. The top match between Suzanne Pettersen and Carlota Sigandra and Stacey Lewis and Lexi Thompson was the closest and contained a lot of controversy. While all square on the 15th hole, Sigandra hit into a water hazard, but rather than put the ball back 2 club lengths from the hazard, she was allowed to go back 40 yards due to an incorrect ruling. The controversy delayed the match for nearly 30 minutes. Sigandra hit her approach to the green and holed a 15-foot par putt. On the 16th, Europe would go 1-up and would retain that lead to win the match. Day 2. Morning foursomes. Anna Nordqvist holed her tee shot at the 187-yard par 3, 17th hole to win the first match of the day. It was the first hole-in-one in Solheim Cup history. At one point Stacey Lewis and Paula Cremer were 4 up against Azahara Munoz and Karinka through 10 holes before the Europeans made the match all square on the 14th. The match was again all square on the 18th, which was won by the United States to ensure a one-hole victory. Brittany Lincicome and Lizette Salas were 2 up with 2 holes to play and lost them both to Katrina Matthew and Caroline Masson, resulting in a halved match. Michelle Wie and Brittany Lang fought back against Suzanne Pettersen and Beatriz Ricari to go 1 up on the 12th hole. They would close out the match by 2 and amp-1 margin. This was the only session that the United States would win. Afternoon 4-ball. There was further controversy on Friday's 4-balls matches, with the match all square through 6 holes against Jodie Ewart-Shadiff and Charlie Hull. Paula Cremer faced a bogey putt on the 7th hole, which had the same line as her partner Lexi Thompson's putt for par. When drawing back her putter, one of the European caddies conceded the putt. It transpired that assistant captain Annika Sorenstam had advised him to do so. This resulted in a 30-minute delay to assess if there should be a penalty, but none was given and Thompson held out for par. The English pairing would regain a 1-shot lead on the 17th and finish 2 up on the 18th. Azahara Munoz and Carlota Ciganda were all square with Garina Piller and Angela Stanford on the 18th, where Ciganda holed a 10-foot birdie putt to win the match. Caroline Hedwall and Caroline Masson dominated the match against Michelle Wie and Jessica Korda and won the match by 2 and amp-1 margin. There was some minor controversy in this match as Michelle Wie had run away from the 16th green after holing a putt to keep her match alive. However, the Europeans were still to putt. She later apologized. Beatriz Ricari and Karinka were never behind in the match against Kristika and Morgan Pressel all day, and on the 18th hole Ika holed a 40-foot putt from off the putting surface to ensure that Europe won that match. There was considerable tension in this match. On the 16th hole, both Ricari and Kerr hit the tee shots and were hazard, and officials needed to step in to place both balls after they could not agree on each other's ball placement. All 4 players would have a further argument on the 16th hole. This resulted in Europe winning all of the 4-balls matches for the first time since 2002. Day 3. Singles. Europe's Charlie Hull earned the first point, defeating Paula Cremer. Anna Nordqvist, in the lead-off match against Stacey Lewis, had been 2 up through the 6th hole until Lewis staged a comeback to take a 1-shot lead at the 14th. Nordqvist leveled the match on the 17th and Lewis holed an 8-foot putt on the 18th hole to halve the match. Carlota Ciganda, who was never behind in her match, defeated Morgan Pressel 4 and amp-2 for Pressel's first ever defeat in a Solheim singles match. Brittany Lang dominated her match against Azahara Munoz, winning 2 and amp-1. The Caroline Hedwall-Michelle Wie match was all square on the 16th hole. Hedwall birdied on the 18th hole, ensuring that Europe retained the cup. Europe clinched the win when Katrina Matthews secured the necessary half-point in her halved match with Garina Piller. U.S. rookie Lizette Salas led Suzanne Pettersen before Pettersen brought the match to all square. Lexi Thompson led for the entire match against Caroline Masson, winning 4 and amp-3. Jessica Korda had a 1-shot lead over Julia Sergers heading into the 18th hole, which Sergers birdied to halve the match. Jodie Ewart-Shadiff went 1 up against Brittany Lincicome on the 8th hole, regained this lead on the 11th, winning 3 and amp-2. Beatriz Ricari was never behind in her match against Angela Stanford and won by 2 and amp-1. The anchor match between Karina Ika and Kristi Kerr was all square approaching the 18th hole when the pair agreed to mutually concede, ending the competition.